Well, we've entered the Chambers Pillar Historical Reserve now, and we're heading down that way, and hopefully not too much further, and then we can set up camp. We're here for a couple of nights. Yeah, we're not far into the park or the reserve, and yeah, already some interesting rock formations. Some interesting colours as well. And if we have a look at this one up in front, yeah, pretty impressive. We are off investigating this morning, having a bit of a walk, and the sun is on the right side of Chambers Pillar this morning. It is lit up in all its glory. We'll try and get a bit closer. A bit of background on Chambers Pillar. This was John McDougall Stewart, named this after one of his South Aussie sponsors for his expedition. Actually, it looks like we might be able to get right up there. I can see a bit of a platform, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, this I think John McDougall was Stewart was the first European to sort of spot this formation, and named it after, yeah, he's one of his sponsors for his was it 1860s, I think, expedition north. There we go, we're a bit closer now, and looks like we can do a bit of a loop around it. So, and of course you've got you know, parts of it, I guess, that have fallen over the years along here as well. But yeah, pretty impressive rock formation, I think. Yes, there are some steps to go up to. Looks like a bit of a platform. We've made it to the little viewing platform here. You get a nice sort of view out over the countryside, and there are some very old inscriptions in here as well. You might be able to make out J. Ross. The information board tells me he was an exploring party. Visited the pillar in 1870, so very old inscription. So 10 years after John McDougall Stewart. One last look at Chambers Pillar. We are packed up. We are moving on this morning. It was a nice 2 days here. But yes, it is time to move on and experience some different flies. They've certainly been pretty thick here. But yeah, we got stop at Stewart's Well, get some fuel, and then we'll move on from there. Good afternoon. We have left Chambers Pillar. We have arrived at Lawrence Gorge. So we're only, 10-15 clicks sort of south of Alice, really. Not far at all. But we've had a bit of a fuel up at Stewart's Well, and then made ourselves our way into Lawrence Gorge here. So big creek, no water. I've showered up, feeling fresh now. But yeah, it's 32 degrees is the temperature the car is telling us is at the moment. So I think we'll find some shade, sit down and relax for a while. I guess you say that's the main riverbed, But yeah, obviously a lot of water comes hurtling down here at various times with the hills around us, and it floods out there as well. So yeah, only one night here and then we'll be moving on, but trying to get out of the sun into some shade, have some fluids. Boys aren't so bad here either today. Not like at Chambers Pillar, they were pretty bad. Anyway, let's get organised. Morning. We have finished at Lawrence Gorge in Owen Springs Reserve. I think I mentioned that yesterday that we were about 10 clicks out of Alice, but it's actually more like 75, 80, so a little bit off in that estimate. But we are done here. We are moving on to Palm Valley. We're going through Hermansburg. So looking forward to cooling in there. It's been a couple of years since we've been through there. The boys are just loading up some firewood. And then we are moving on. So we'll see you in Palm Valley. Well, we haven't got far down the track this morning, and we saw a sign to the old Owen Springs homestead, so we thought we'd go and have a quick look at that. So there's a signboard here that talks you through some of the Owen Springs history. It talks how, you know, the rivers in this area, particularly the Hugh River, were treated like highways because they would, you know, the explorers would find food and water along the rivers. It talks how Owen Springs here was well, the Owen Springs Reserve closely follows John McDouall Stewart's route through the McDonald Ranges in his explorations in 1860 and 1862. And this is also the Overland Telegraph followed the Hugh River as well. So let's go and have a look at the homestead. Nice white building. And there's a few buildings here. Storeroom, engine shed, saddle and harness shed. Had a cellar. But yeah, this was William Gilbert's property. He established one of Central Australia's first cattle stations in 1873. The homestead actually had its own blacksmith, and this is the remnants of that building. But give you a bit of a look at the lay of the land here. You've got the river down in there. Steve's thinking was the homestead would normally be situated near a permanent water source. Owen Springs, I guess. There's a bit of a name to it, but not sure about that history. But anyway, we have stumbled down into the river here, and we saw some green reeds. And yep, green reeds means water. And there we go, locked in between some stone here. There is some water. It does actually have some small fish in there as well. A little bit further down the track, we found the Aboriginal stockman's quarters. So these buildings date back to the 60s and 70s. There's only one living quarters and one washing quarters at the moment, and the still fairly well intact. Here's the old heat and water shower setup. Outhouse down the back. Oh, and a big pool of water down there too, which you might be able to see further down. Probably ideal location to set up a bit of a living area. Hopefully that's visible for you down the back there. Some good information here about the people living here. Gardens they had.
Oh, you can't. Oh, I can just stay down there.
After approximately 120 kilometres of driving, we arrived at Palm Valley, which is in the Finke Gorge National Park. Once we'd set up, we were off exploring.